The content in this video is for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only. The views and opinions expressed in this video are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Loner Chronicles or its creators. We strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, but we make no warranties or representations regarding the completeness, accuracy, reliability, suitability, or availability of any information contained in this video. Any reliance you place on such information is strictly at your own risk.
Welcome back to the Loner Chronicles. It's your boy Soul Surge.
And your girl, Nova Blaze.
So y'all, before we get into our topic of discussion, saying goodbye to people pleasing, we want to talk about first, and of course all of y'all, I'm sure all of y'all have been following the whole Sonia Massie situation, and for y'all that haven't been, you know, it's just a crazy and shocking thing to see on camera. And we both want to say here at the Loner Chronicles, like, condolences to the Sonia Massie family and to Sonia Massie herself.
Definitely.
I mean, just seeing that on camera, man, was just
very
scary.
sad.
Yeah, it really was. And what tripped me out, and I'm gonna go ahead and and before I let Nova like share her piece, but this is something that I want to say because it's been heavy on my mind for a couple of days. And I just couldn't believe it. So, not only because of that whole situation with Sonia Massie was shocking to see on video, but it's the reactions and responses from our own people. So, I just happened to be going through YouTube or whatever, just looking up information about their details, like some of my favorite YouTubers or podcasts that I follow. Just like I want to hear their takes or their reactions to this video, right? So I happened to go across this one YouTube, and I'm not going to put the name on blast, but on the first introduction on the video, this dude was like, condolences to the pot lady. And that tripped me out because...
very disrespectful.
And then he proceeds to bang the pot in the air. And that tripped me out because I'm like...
I wouldn't even do that.
I mean, just even out of respect for somebody's family, like, I would have liked to ask that person, like, if the shoe was on the other foot and that was your loved one and somebody said condolence to a pot lady and started banging the pot, I would like to know how that person's reaction would have been in reverse. But that's just me. That's just me. But Nova, what's your take on this situation and how do you feel?
Well, it's very sad, and I really hate that happened to her. And it definitely could have been resolved differently, very differently. They shouldn't have to go that far. Like, what happened to just pulling out tasers, like pepper spray? What happened to all that?
I don't know, and that's the crazy part. In what situation would have made them officers put their gun out first before using less than lethal force? And that's something that we have always been taught and drilled in when I was in the military. So I mean, that was just like shocking to see how he even handled that situation. It was just beyond me. But you know, hey, spam it up in the comments and let me know what y'all think about that situation. I mean, I'm sure, like, just how I feel, I'm sure some of you all feel the same way. And if you don't feel that way, hey, also share your comments and state your opinion. Alright y'all, so let's get into it. What's good? Welcome back to the Loner Chronicles. It's your boy Soul Surge, and today we're tackling a big one. We're saying goodbye to people pleasing and learning to embrace your true self. You know we're about to get real on this one.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Nova Blaze. You already know. We're diving in deep today, y'all. We're talking about why we feel the need to please everyone and how can we break free from that trap. So get comfy, grab your favorite drink or snack, and let's get into it.
All right, let's kick it off. People pleasing. It's something most of us have done at some point, but why do we do it? For me, it was all about wanting to be liked and accepted. What about you, Nova?
Yeah, I feel that too. Growing up, I always wanted to be the peacemaker and the one who keep everyone happy until to this day I'm still the same way. But man, that's exhausting though, for real. It took a while for me to realize that I'm losing myself in the whole process.
Exactly. And it's like you're constantly wearing a mask. You're trying to fit into what everyone else expects you to be. But at the end of the day, you're the one who's unhappy. What about y'all? What has been y'all experience with people pleasing? And also, I want to ask y'all an additional question as well. Why do you think you engage in people pleasing? If you have been in them situations, share your experience in the comments. So y'all, man, we're going to talk about breaking free from the trap. So, how do we break free from this trap? Now, for me, it started with recognizing my own worth and also setting boundaries. Nova, what's your turning point?
Now, for me, it was hitting a point where I just couldn't keep up the act anymore. I realized that no matter what I did, I couldn't please no one. I couldn't please no one, y'all. So I started to focusing on what made me happy, and with my values, I did.
Yeah, that is real. That is real. And man, it's also about prioritizing your own happiness and well-being. And believe me, man, it's tough, you know. But once you start setting those boundaries, it gets easier. Now, what about y'all? Have you started setting boundaries yet? And an additional question to that: what steps have you taken to stop people pleasing and setting boundaries? Hey, again, let us know in the comments, y'all. All right, so let's switch gears and we're going to talk about people pleasing in different relationships. Now, whether it's through your friends, your associates, your co-workers, I mean, we've all faced this pressure to conform. So, Nova, how do you see this play out with friends?
Man, with friends, it's like you're always trying to fit in no matter what. Do what they want or be who they need you to be. But real friends should accept you for who you are, right? Do y'all hear me? I remember a time when I kept going along with plans and didn't even get to enjoy the peace because it was draining.
I mean, facts. And it's the same way with like associates or co-workers. Like, it's a whole different ball game. And especially like when I was in the military, man, I always felt like I was out of place because to me, like certain things that these guys would talk about, like especially when it came to the topic, firearms, weapons, like certain things like that, it was kind of a little bit out of my element. I mean, I'm gonna cap, a little bit out of my element, but you know, a lot of times you want to be liked and respected, and sometimes it means sacrificing your own needs. But over the years, I mean, I've learned.
Okay, y'all. How do you navigate people pleasing with friends and associates or even co-workers? Please share your thoughts and stories in the comments. Don't be shy.
All right, let's get personal, Nova. What's one time you remember breaking away from people pleasing and standing up for yourself?
Man, I remember this one time at work, I was always taking extra tasks to keep everyone happy. But I was burning out eventually. But one day I just said no. and I felt weird at first, but then when I just, teach yourself how to start telling people no, I felt better at it. So, man, that felt so good, and it was a huge weight off my shoulders.
Man, I feel that. And for me, it was my relationships, especially with my family. I wanted to do everything to make them happy. But one day I was realizing that I was neglecting my own needs. And it was tough, because I always was the one that, would kind of be there no matter what. But sometimes you have to step back and really kind of just focus on yourself. And it ended up being like one of the best decisions. And I'm not throwing like any shade, but like even sometimes with like family, like you have to set your boundaries out there, because sometimes family can be more comfortable with things, and they'll always feel like they can just overstep those boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know, like, what about y'all? Do y'all have any personal stories of breaking free from people pleasing?
Man, I know everybody gotta have a story about people pleasing.
So, where do we go from here? It's all about continuing to set those boundaries and prioritize your own happiness. Nova, any final tip for our listeners?
Absolutely. Remember, it's okay to say no, y'all. It's okay to put yourself first. And it's okay to be unapologetically you. That's a long ass word, y'all. Took me a little bit for that. But the right people will respect you and appreciate you for who you are.
In fact, remember, you don't have to go through this alone. Find your tribe. That's why I said it's like a gift and a curse with social media. It's like you can find your tribe. There's groups out there. There's people that you can actually reach to a lot faster than how it was back then. So, find your tribe to those that will lift you up and support your journey. Now, I do have additional question for y'all though before we wrap this up. What's one thing that you're going to do this week to prioritize yourself and break free from people pleasing? Let us know in the comments, y'all. All right, so hey, we're here at the conclusion, y'all. So appreciate y'all for rocking with us. But I have an inspirational quote for y'all to think about. You are enough, just as you are. Your worth isn't determined by how much you do for others, but how true you are to yourself.
And that's right, and remember, y'all, it's never too late to start putting yourself first. Keep pushing and keep dreaming and stay true to you.
And thank y'all once again for tuning in
to the Loner Chronicles.
Keep the convos going in the comments.
And don't forget to like,
subscribe,
and share.
Peace.
Peace, y'all.